For a long time, acupuncture has lived in an awkward place. Popular with patients, dismissed by skeptics, often waved away as placebo or worse, like mysticism or quackery. In my role as a science translator, attempting to make the tricky but lovely science behind health and healing understandable, I had to bring this conversation to your attention. Every once in a while, something interesting happens. While acupuncture science researchers are toiling away in the background, suddenly a serious conversation breaks through. In the conversation among the people who matter. That's why a recent discussion on the Tim Ferriss Show caught my attention, because Tim Ferriss is not an easy sell. Years ago, he openly said that after talking to his scientific contacts, he didn't think acupuncture held much water. I was dismayed at this, since there was, at the time, plenty of science behind it. But like the diligent thinker that he is, he updated his views. His guest was Michael Levin, a biologist at Tufts University who studies something called bioelectricity, how electrical signals guide cells, tissue, regeneration, and even intelligence in the body. This is cutting-edge developmental biology. I'll admit, I smiled when early in the podcast, both Levin and Ferriss mentioned having read the decades-old book, The Body Electric by Robert O. Becker. That book was one of the first I read when I was trying to understand acupuncture from a physiological perspective. Because if you understand how something works, you can treat patients better, period.
To me, as someone who's interested in practical results, I would say, I can't say anything other than 100% that I think there's something very powerful here, very significant.
And there's a key moment when Ferriss asked Levin what he thinks about acupuncture and how it relates to bioelectronic medicine.
Whatever it is that acupuncturists are managing with their treatments, it has the same relationship to the bioelectricity that the bioelectricity has to the chemical signaling. In other words, chemical, physical, protein signaling pathways, bioelectrical state. There's some other informational state. Maybe it has to do with the biomechanics of tissues. And again, like disclaimer, I still get acupuncture, right? So Vanessa Grimes here in Beverly, every month I get a tune-up. I think it really works. So, take it all with a grain of salt. But I don't think they're managing bioelectricity directly. I think they're managing something else, which is no doubt relevant to the bioelectric layer because it then has to transduce through that to the rest of the body. But I suspect it's not bioelectricity per se. I suspect it's something additional. That's a guess on my part.
Levin says, very plainly, that as someone interested in practical results, he's convinced there is something powerful and significant happening when a person or animal gets acupuncture. He suggests that whatever acupuncture are influencing may be one level above bioelectricity, the same way bioelectric signals sit above chemical signaling. What he thinks is there may be another informational layer we don't fully understand yet, and that's how science sounds when it's being honest. I've developed a working understanding of how acupuncture works scientifically, and I laid that out in my recent book, Radical Resilience. And then there's a conversation about placebo.
Yeah.
Acupuncture for conception, which may intersect with vagus nerve stimulation, who knows?
Yeah. The deal with placebo, I don't see placebo as a confound. Mm-hmm. I mean, it can be if you're trying to calculate certain things, but I think it's kind of the main show in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And some of the placebo research, like Fabrizio Benedetti is, one of my favorites, and he has a...
Levin makes the point that many people miss entirely. Placebo isn't always a confound to be eliminated. Sometimes it's a signal, evidence that the nervous system, expectation, and physiology are all deeply entangled. If acupuncture were just placebo, we wouldn't keep seeing reproducible physiological effects. We wouldn't see changes in heart rate variability, inflammatory markers in neural signaling as we do. We wouldn't see serious scientists quietly getting monthly acupuncture either. Curious, rigorous thinkers admitting that something is real and something is happening, that some of it is demonstrable science and some of it may remain to be figured out. Hope you liked this video and subscribe if you did. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching. See you next time.